Wuthering Waves is absolutely cooking right now. Hiyuki has a second form. Denia's CC looks insane. Next version potentially ending the Lahai Roi arc, and one of the biggest overhauls the game has ever seen. We're talking UI redesigns, new mechanics, motorcycle gliding, and a list of collabs that will make your jaw drop. Look into all of it. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Everything you're about to hear comes from recent leaks, so, as always, take it with a grain of salt. Nothing here is officially confirmed yet. With that said, let's go. Starting with Hiyuki, and she looks incredible. First thing, she has a second form. That alone already makes her feel more dynamic than your average sword unit. And speaking of sword unit, don't let that fool you, because she also has range attacks in her kit, which is a pretty unique touch for a melee character. Her animations completely transform the battlefield. She covers a massive area in snow, and that snow actually sticks around for a good while. It's not just a flashy effect. It changes the terrain visually, and she gets frostbite as a wound effect, which fits the whole ice aesthetic perfectly. She also has a moon environmental effect, similar to what Yino had, which is a nice thematic detail. On top of that, her character model has been updated, so she's looking even better than before. Now let's talk about her buff stacks, because this is where it gets a little technical, but it's important. Hiyuki's buff is called Glacio Chafe, and it can have up to 3 stacks. Here's how it works. Hiyuki herself always provides 1 stack passively. A Havoc Bane or Toon Rupture unit adds 1 more stack, and that's shared, not per unit. Chafe units each give their own individual stack. So if you run Hiyuki with Linne and Chisa, you only get 2 stacks total, because Linne and Chisa are both Rupture and Bane types respectively, sharing that 1 slot. To hit the full 3 stacks, your best team options would be Hiyuki plus 2 Chafe units, or Hiyuki with 1 Bane or Rupture unit and 1 Chafe unit. Which means, currently she cannot reach 3 stacks without hitting sequence 2. So at launch, you'll likely be capped at 2 unless you pull dupes. Moving on to Denia. She's shaping up to be a really solid CC unit. Her AoE crowd control looks strong, and what makes her stand out is that she appears to have continuous off-field AoE CC as well. That means she can keep controlling enemies even when she's not the active character on the field. That's a great quality for support, and it opens up a lot of team flexibility. More gameplay details are limited for now, but the early footage is looking very promising. Alright, now let's get into the 3.3 leaks, and there's a lot here. First up, massive UI overhaul. According to leaks, the entire game's interface is getting redesigned. Menus, icons, the team selection screen, character pages, basically everything is being refreshed. This has been something the community has wanted for a while, so it's a big deal. There's also a new in-game optimization that lets you switch a character's mode directly from the team selection screen. So, for example, if you're running Ymith, you could toggle between her Fusion Burst mode or Toon Strain mode right there, without any extra steps. This applies to all characters who have 2 modes. That's a genuinely great quality of life addition. Now for something a bit mysterious. There's a leak about a new map or skill mechanic described as a black hole portal. When triggered, you apparently fall into a brand new location, and it somehow involves a 6-sided dice. The details are super vague right now, so we don't know if this is a story event, a new game mode, or something else entirely. Interesting though, on the event side, the OG Samoir event is reportedly coming back, which a lot of players missed the first time around, and the community, especially veteran players including myself, are super excited for this. And for good reason too. We missed DPS Baiji and taking full control over Crownless. Also, it looks like Phoebe's outro skill has been changed. No specifics yet on what exactly changed, but leaks suggest something has been adjusted there. Mornai is also getting a winter skin, which has been leaked. Visuals are already out, and she looks adorable. Now here's something exciting. Motorcycle is getting a major upgrade. According to leaks, there's a new gliding mechanic coming for the motorbike. At a certain height, you can press and hold the jump button to enter a gliding state, which uses air energy. While gliding, you can even sprint and perform a gliding dash. And during that dash, your altitude won't drop. That's a really cool traversal addition. In the mini collab list, is absolutely stacked. Leaked collabs include Resident Evil, Angry Birds, Kaiju number 8, Pragmata, Riders Republic, and Haikyuu, all of which are set to bring special collab liveries for the bike. If even half of these are real, that's massive. On the technical side, mobile players are getting some love. There's a power-saving frame interpolation feature coming, which means if your device supports it, you'll be able to smoothly go from 30 FPS up to 60 FPS through frame interpolation. Great news for lower-end phones. There's also a new anisotropic filtering setting with 5 levels, from very low all the way to ultra, giving PC players more visual control. Story-wise, leaks suggest 3.3 might have a significant amount of main story quests, possibly up to 4. There's even a rumor going around that 3.3 could be the conclusion of Lahai Roi's story arc. If true, that would make it the biggest story updates the game has had. Take this with caution though, it's purely speculative at this point. One quick future leak before we wrap up. Lucilla apparently has an alternate state where she takes off her jacket and hat, giving her a different look mid-gameplay. Not much else is known yet, but it sounds like it could be a really cool visual transformation. Alright, that's everything. To recap, Hiyuki looks like an incredibly designed unit with a second form, terrain-changing animations, and a stack system you'll want to plan your team around carefully. Denia CC is looking strong with solid off-field potential. And 3.3 is shaping up to be one of the most content-heavy patches in Wuthering Waves history. UI overhaul, motorcycle gliding, a ton of collabs, QL improvements, and potentially a major story conclusion. The 3.3 special broadcast is officially scheduled for April 17th, so we won't have to wait too long for official confirmation on a lot of this. If you found this useful, drop a like. It genuinely helps the channel a lot. Subscribe if you're new, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.